What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And listen, happy Thursday, people. Hope you're well. It's been an eventful week so far, and it's going to get a lot more eventful tomorrow at 11 a.m. as well. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I'll be live from about 10:30 for the Champions League draw, which is going to be... It's going to be crazy. And we got a few things to talk about today. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. And make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it around, all of that good stuff. Thank you for all the great support. And I feel like I've recovered today. Yesterday I was kind of in a mad zone after the night before against Porto. But today I feel refreshed. I'm back to normal. And looking forward to the Champions League draw. I was going to say looking forward to the game. We don't play until the 31st of March now, which is a bit of a shame. But maybe the group, they need a break and they need an opportunity to... Well, I was going to say have a rest, but then they're not really having much of a rest because they'll be flying all over the world to go and play international duty. So, listen, apologies, I was a few minutes late there. The reason I was waiting is because the England squad was being announced and I just wanted to see who was in it. So that I could get that graphic ready, and they announced it about 2 minutes past 2, so my apologies. Nicholas Anelka on the background, people. It's his birthday today, I believe. He's 45. Is it 45? Nicholas Anelka turns 45 years of age today. Super Nick Anelka. What a player he was. Still to this day, one of my favourite... Is it some people saying the audio? Microphone's cutting out. Let me go. Let me take it on and off. Right. Let me know. Is that any better, people? Is that better? Let me know in the comments. Is that better? I just turned it on and off. Let me know. Audio was moving wild. Tell me if it's any better. I just changed it. Tell me if it's better. Audio was always good. Is it better now, people? Let me know. Or we can start. Audio is fine now. There we go. We changed it. It should be better. Apologies for that, people. Apologies for that. I don't know why it was doing that. Shouldn't be. Some of you still saying it's buffering a little bit. Audio is fine now. There we go. All right. So maybe it's all right now. Probably doing better than Havertz. Same with the other streams. Is it a general... The announcement video is a disgrace. Big up Curtis. Oh, my days. We're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about that. Audio is fine. Right. Hopefully it's all right now. Should be sorted. Should be sorted, people. Apologies. We got a few things to talk about today anyway. Let's talk about the England squad first. Let's talk about the England squad. Typical Gareth Southgate. Typical Gareth. He still picks some of his favourites, don't he? He doesn't seem to be able to go with the ones that he rates, even if they shouldn't be in the squad. So what's going on? A lot of you saying it is better. Some of you still saying it's not as good. So I apologize. I did change it. Apparently there's something going on YouTube today. Internet problems around the world. But some of you saying it's better. We're going to have to run with it, people. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, this is the England squad. Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford and Aaron Ramsdale. You've got Jared Brampthwaite, Chilwell, Lewis Dunk, Gomez, Konza, Maguire, Stones and Walker. I mean, Tomori must sit there and think, I play for AC Milan. And you're picking man... like Brampthwaite at Everton in a relegation battle. I don't know about that, No Luke Shaw. I'm trying to figure this squad out. There's only one right back. You've only picked Kyle Walker. I think Trippier's injured and Trent's injured. So he's only picked one right back. I mean, they are friendlies at the end of the day. Gomez can play right back. Midfield, he's gone with Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Jordan Henderson, Maddison and Declan Rice. Finally, Calvin Phillips has been dropped. Jordan Henderson, bro. Are you ever going to get over that or what? This guy, that's got to be his nephew or something. The man loves Henderson, no matter how old he is. And then the forwards, he's gone Jared Bowen, Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, Cole Palmer, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Ivan Toney, and Ollie Watkins. Do I agree with this squad? No, I don't. When do we ever agree with a squad that Gareth Southgate does, to be honest? If I'm Ross Barkley, I'm fuming. I don't care if the guy plays for Luton. He's been head and shoulders above a lot of centre midfielders who are English in the Premier League. Jordan Henderson, what's the point, really, of taking Henderson? Anthony Gordon, not for me. Not for me. I don't think he's ready. I just don't think he's... I know the left wingers in this country are not on fire. Rashford, Sterling, Grealish, they're all not playing that well. But Anthony Gordon, is he winning England a Euros? I wouldn't have picked him. If you got Saka on the right, Foden can play on the right, Palmer can play on the right, Bowen can play on the right. You've got 4 possible right wingers there. So I don't see the point. I wouldn't have probably picked... maybe Jared Bowen. I like Cole Palmer. He's got a bit of magic about him. I don't know with this guy. Every time he picks a squad, I'm kind of confused. Ben White's not in the squad. It was never going to happen. It's never going to happen. He had a big bust up with the assistant manager and got sent out. If he took that squad to the Euros, do you know what I mean? That squad has no balance. So we've got an injury-prone Chilwell at left-back. And but listen, it'll be different for the Euros. I'm sure Trent will be back. I'm just glad Calvin Phillips has finally been dropped. Listen, AJ, I like Jared Bowen. I do like Jared Bowen, but if Saka's starting right wing, you don't then need another 3 right wingers on the bench. You know, you don't need all of them. I'm just hoping. Yeah, I thought Eze might have got a chance as well. Mainu, maybe he thinks he's not quite ready, but I like Kobe Mainu. I think he's a good player. The problem with these games for me is that because we're playing two quality teams, you know, is this manager going to burn out Saka and Declan Rice and play them full nighters? England are obviously playing Brazil and Belgium, and you know this guy's going to want to put a decent performance in before they go to the Euros in the summer. So I really hope Southgate does not burn out Rice and Saka by giving them, 90 minutes galore, because that's something we don't want to see. I want to see Arsenal players getting rest, but it's very unlikely to happen, unfortunately, especially with Southgate. He constantly plays Rice and Saka a lot of the time for the full 90 minutes. So we'll have to see. It's time for the dark arts, people. It's time for the dark arts. Gareth Southgate has just done an interview. He's doing a press conference now. He was asked in the press conference about Ben White. And Gareth Southgate said, "We had a call saying Ben White didn't want to be considered for England selection at this time." In fact, let me get these quotes up. This is crazy. I respect this from Ben White, though. Man said, "Brother, I'm not trying to play if you're the manager." So I respect it. Gareth Southgate said, "I'd love to know who the call was from, by the way. We had a call saying Ben White didn't want to be considered for England selection at this time. I spoke to him post-Qatar. There was clearly reticence on his side. I don't know why that is, but I have to respect that. The door is 100% open, but he's currently not available to us. There's no issue between us or with Steve Holland." Steve Holland is the England assistant manager. That's been mentioned in articles, and I don't like that. Yo, Benny Blanco, man made the call and said, "Bro, don't even think about picking me. I'm going to Dubai for 3 days to get a suntan. I ain't coming to play international duty." So, listen, I'll be honest, people. I'll be totally honest. I don't care what happens to England in these next 2 games. I don't want Arsenal players playing. Ben White not going for England? Cool. Go on holiday, relax, put your feet up. Saka and them, man, you better not play them, man, full night. Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, start doing some dark arts, people. I need dark arts. Title and Champions League is all I'm interested in right now. Don't care about no qualifiers, no friendlies, none of that. Yeah, make the call, don't pick me. I respect it, Ben White, I respect it. Man said, "Yo, while you're the manager, I ain't playing. I'm not playing while you're in charge." So, yeah, man, listen, fair play. I'd love to know who made that call, though. I really would. When I say it's time for dark arts, people, it's time for dark arts. There's an article that's just gone out. Kevin De Bruyne has pulled out of the Belgium squad with a small groin issue that apparently he's been nursing for a few weeks. He will not travel with the Belgium squad for their 2 games during this international break. Manchester City have pulled him out of the squad. He's been nursing a small groin issue, and we feel it's best that he recovers at Manchester City's training complex. Dark art settings, Pep Guardiola FC. Guess who will start centre midfield against Arsenal in the Premier League for Manchester City? Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne will have nothing wrong with his groin when he comes back. I need to see dark arts, guys. I need dark arts. Saka, if there's a little bit of pain in your leg, we got to get you out of these squads. I need Arsenal players fit and healthy. We got a big run. You know, listen, you know if they were playing a big Premier League game this week, De Bruyne would be playing. There'd be nothing wrong with his Kevin De Bruyne. So I need to see dark arts. There has been a little bit of dark arts, although I don't know if that's come from the Arsenal side, is that Tomiyasu has not been selected for the Japan squad as he's just come back from injury and hasn't had any game time for Arsenal since returning from the Asia Cup. So Japan have decided not to call up Takahiro Tomiyasu for their games during the 21st and 26th of March. Tomiyasu will stay at the Arsenal training ground to complete his match fitness. So, yeah, little bit of dark arts. We need more of it, though. We need way more of it. It'll be interesting to see who else gets picked. Obviously, Martinelli was not selected for the Brazil squad, but I'm pretty sure Gabriel will, and probably Gabriel Jesus. Majority of the squads will be announced today, so we're waiting on them. Jesus apparently could be missing as well, people are saying. Martinelli's not playing. I know that for sure. Let's see what they're saying about Gabriel Jesus. I don't know if the Brazil squad has been announced yet, has it? Gabriel Jesus. You know, I don't think Brazil have announced their squad yet. Just says Gabriel. Oh, no, they have. They have. Let's have a look. Brazil squad. Let's have a look. Is Gabriel Jesus in the Brazil squad? And they're playing England, obviously, aren't they? So, oh, no. I can't get the full squad up. Just said Martinelli was not named. Oh, maybe they haven't announced the whole squad yet. Just said they won't be picking Martinelli in their squad. Yeah. So it's one of them. Hopefully Jesus won't be in there. Has Partey been called up? Oh, hey, listen. Partey should not be playing. Partey should not be playing for Ghana because he is rusty as hell. But then they're going to say, give him some game time and we'll see what happens. But we'll see. We'll see. By the end of today, we'll know all of them anyway. I know Gabriel Magalhaes is set to be in the Brazil squad. But big up everyone tuned in. Let me read that. It's Gunnar Live said, Free Vibes Cartel World Boss. Gaza settings, yeah. Anelka, wish he stayed longer with us. What a player. But if we'd have kept him longer, we wouldn't have got Thierry Henry. We built a training ground and signed Thierry. So Anelka leaving was a blessing. I suppose if we'd have had both of them, would have been incredible. But what a player he was, that is for sure. Partey should be too old to play for Ghana. He should be the manager. Big up Shaqs. Jamie Drummer said Endrick already ahead of Jesus. Listen, I'm not surprised. James said they didn't call up Jesus. They replaced Martinelli with Galano from Porto. I do want to see that squad. If they have announced it. Let's have a look. All things Brazil. Brazil squad. Have they actually announced the full squad? I want to see what their squad is. I did see that they said that that guy from Porto was going to be brought in to replace Martinelli. I'll try and get it. I'll try and get it up as we're streaming, people. Partey plays for the over 35s, maybe the over 45s. That kit in the background, serious. All the JVC ones were crazy. They were absolutely crazy, weren't they? You know, they just had that heritage about them because we were successful and righty and all of that. The JVC stuff was crazy. But we need to create that new heritage, you know, with the Emirates as the sponsor. We haven't really been that successful since we've been in these kits. So, yeah, we definitely need to create that new history. Interesting that he took. Yeah, Darren, I just put it. We spoke about that. Interesting that Southgate picked Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins and Harry Kane. Didn't expect all three of them to be in the squad, but yeah, he's taken a lot of strikers. So people were saying maybe Ivan Toney wouldn't be picked. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on, people. Big up everyone who liked and shared. Apologies for those issues at the start regarding the microphone. I'm told it is a YouTube issue rather than actual microphone issue. It's been happening a lot this morning on a lot of streams, so my apologies for that. Hopefully it's worked itself out. Now, let's move on. Let's talk about the headline news of the day, and that is Benny Blanco, people, a.k.a. Ben White, a.k.a. Ben Tan. Ben White has signed a new long-term deal at Arsenal that will be valid until the summer of 2028, with the option to extend for another year on top of that. And Edu said, our supporters love him, we love him, and we look forward to enjoying Ben's performances with us for years to come. So Ben White signs a new 4-year contract with a 1-year option. That 1-year option would obviously take him to 2029. So he's here to stay. Listen, I thought he started off the season quite slowly, but I think over the last 2 months, we're starting to see the Ben White of last season, and I think he's in a really good vein of form. And listen, we need to tie these players down to long-term contracts, and I think it's great news. I think it's great news. He's we also have to remember the guy's not a natural right back. Salman said, do we really love him, or do we just deal with him? Well, yeah, I wouldn't say we love him. We respect his performance level when he's playing well. Is probably the best I'm going to give you on that. But you know they love to cap. If you haven't seen the announcement video, I'd keep a sick bag around. It's a little bit cringy. It is the modern game and it is PR, and I understand it. It's not my favorite announcement video of a new contract. It's a bit, you know, he's asking them, give us 3 words to describe Ben White. Oh, he's a warrior, and he's this, and there's hair flicks from Odegaard, and so on and so forth. It doesn't, you know, I've always said I want Arsenal to come out to DMX Rough Riders anthem. This doesn't scream out hardcore hip-hop New York DMX. This is more like S Club 7, the Spice Girls, One Direction. It's more along that level. If you run into that video online today, I wouldn't be desperate to watch it. It's not great. But yeah, listen, like Haroon says, I like the unity of the team, but you know, Arsenal love a bit of PR, that's for sure. Yeah, it's more Taylor Swift, you know, Miley Cyrus. It goes down that, you know, don't stop, never give up when you hit. I'll stop there. I don't want to start singing pop songs from the late 90s, early 2000s. But yeah, it's Arsenal love a bit of PR, don't they? So they've mopped it up as much as possible. New contract doesn't actually say how much he's going to get, but who cares? Who cares anyway? I don't really care, to be honest. There will be a pay rise there. And listen, fair play to him. That's I think Tomiyasu will probably be the next one that gets the new deal. Although he's quite fortunate considering the guy is injured most of the time. So Ben White signs a new deal, 4 years, happy days, keep it moving. I don't think guilty pleasure. You know what it is? Them songs back in the day, they're songs that you don't like, yeah, but when they was on the radio, they're sing-along classics, and you heard them so much, you know, you couldn't, you had to sing them. You know, we'll do some pop songs streams at some stage. Why not? Shameless, yeah. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, bye 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 bye. You know, it was going back in the day. Them old school pop tunes, man. They were serious. I can't lie. They don't make pop songs like they do back then, man. They were proper sing-along vibes. But yeah, anyway, let me not talk about that. I gotta keep my hip-hop reputation strong, you know. But anyway, Ben White signs a new contract. You know, I wasn't exactly celebrating, but you know, I'm glad we need to tie these guys down to new contract. Liverpool fans rattled with the Ben White announcement. You know what's funny, right? You know what's funny? Do you know how I know we're massive? Do you know how I know we're massive? Have you noticed everywhere you turn at the moment, every content creator is banging out Arsenal content. Non-Arsenal fans are rinsing our content because they know when Arsenal content is out there and we're doing well, it bangs like no other. Man City won the treble. No disrespect to any Man City fan in the comments, right? All 4 of you, right? Well, I'm sorry. When Man City fans won the treble, every other fan was like, not bothered. You know, don't know many Man City fans, so I don't have to deal with too much banter from their fans. We don't really care about them. They won the treble 8 months ago. No one's talking about it. Apart from Man City fans, of course. But we don't care. Arsenal win a Champions League last 16 game. And the world is absolutely rattled. It's crazy. Angel said, and through it, oh, she offers me protection. Let me stop. What am I doing here? All these pop songs, but they're all over us. We won a game. They said, look how you're celebrating. He's fist pumping. You were lucky. You were trash. We won a game of football and we enjoyed it. Let us live, man. We was 8th 2 years ago. Let the club breathe. And then they say that, but all the content creators, they're mopping it up. They're mopping it up. Like when you got a piece of bread and you're mopping up that last bit of, you know what I mean, on the dinner plate. They're all over us. Oh, Arsenal are scary. Oh, imagine doing a 4-hour watch along for a team that you wanted to lose and we nick it right at the end and you have to sit through it. Do you know the pain that is? They did a watch along for that Arsenal game thinking we were going to drop out of the competition and they could all laugh at us. So imagine sitting there for 4 hours having to watch us win. It's funny times, man. It's funny. We're massive. We're massive. I tell you, I said it before and I said it again. Don't let Arsenal win one of them 2 trophies this season. Because if they do, there's a lot of people in a lot of trouble. And I mean a lot of trouble. Trust me on that one, people. Because we've been there Thursday night watch-alongs, suffering in Europa League, playing against Wi-Fi password football teams. Do you know what I mean? I'm having to Google who they are, who their manager is, who their players are. You better not let Arsenal win the title or win the Champions League. They will have to ban me from everything. So, yeah, they're doing 4-hour hate-alongs and watching us win and then mopping up all the content. DT said, DTX should I say, not DT of course, said, who's been your surprise player of the season? Surprise player of the season? I think Ross Barkley's had a great season, say he's in a relegation battle. Ollie Watkins having a very good season. I think Declan Rice is doing better than I expected, to be honest. Apart from that, any other names? Anyone else surprise you this year? I think Endo's done well at Liverpool. £15 million. Didn't know much about him. He's been solid. Jamie said we still need to buy an actual right back in the near future. Yeah, I'd take Frimpong or someone like that. And Benny said, big Man C unit, we have the largest online community. They love it. All of a sudden, Man United content creators doing watch-alongs for Arsenal games and videos about Arsenal. They're all over us now. They want to, they want a piggyback, on our success. But I respect it. The game is the game. No, do you know what? Micah Richards is an Arsenal fan. He is an Arsenal fan. Carragher's obviously just doesn't want Man City to win it. But Micah Richards, Daniel Sturridge, those 2 are definitely Arsenal fans. LSU said, yeah, Ross Barkley's been brilliant. McAllister's done well. He has done well. Cole Palmer, yeah, definitely. He's done well. Adebayo said, do you think we can get past Atletico over 2 legs if we get them in the quarters? They are more disciplined defensively than Porter. Do you know what? We're going to talk about the Champions League, Adebayo, and I'm going to go into more detail about all the teams. Obviously, make sure you tuned in tomorrow, 10:30. Watch along at 11 a.m. Champions League. I mean, that is huge. Absolutely huge. Solanke as well has been excellent. Are you doing the US tour? I will be there. I will be there. Sure on tour, people. Big up C Unit gang, said Afsar. Let's talk Champions League. Let's talk Champions League, because let's be real, that's all that really matters at the moment. This is all I'm interested in. Watched the Champions League last night. Was very interesting. Dortmund beat PSV 2-0. PSV had some chances, but Sancho was cooking. There was some compilations out. You know, he did some nice skills. Listen, I'm glad for Sancho because I think Man United wasted him. When he was at Dortmund the first time, you're looking at one of the best young wingers in world football. He was that good. He was a disgrace at Man United. Whether that's their fault, his fault, a combination of the two. I hope he does well at Dortmund, unless we get him, of course. And Atletico Madrid knocked out Inter Milan. And Alexis Sanchez missed his penalty. And then, in my opinion, one of the biggest bottle jobs. I'm sorry, and people sometimes put his name in the comments. I've always said I don't want that guy at Arsenal. Lautaro Martinez. Somebody for me, I just don't get the hype. I just don't get the hype, people. I really don't. He scores goals in his league. When has this guy stepped up on the bigger platforms and really done the business? The guy went to the World Cup as the #1 striker for Argentina. By the end of the group stage, he was on the bench. The guy, shanked his penalty wide. Even tried to do kick-ups before he put the ball on the penalty spot and didn't do them right. I just never wanted this guy at Arsenal. But Atletico Madrid, listen. Atletico, because people keep saying, who do you want in the draw? And listen, on one hand, you're like, embrace it. We want to be in the Champions League. We want to play the best. Give us anyone. But on the other hand, I'm like, I have to still be realistic. And even though I'm delighted that we just got past Porto, I also have to be totally honest with myself and say, we scraped past a Porto team that are third in the Portuguese league on penalties. We are going to have to go up a whole heap of levels if we get a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich, a Manchester City. Those are the three, and probably Atletico. They're the four that I would completely want to avoid, if I'm being totally honest. I wouldn't want Atletico because I think they're the better version of Porto. Defensively, they are rock solid. Black, the organisation, the away game would be very difficult. And Simeone and the antics and the know-how. Man City, I do not want to play Man City 3 times in 4 weeks. Twice in the Champions League, once in the Prem. I think physically and mentally that would take so much out of us. Real Madrid are Real Madrid. You don't need to say anything why you wouldn't want them. I saw our manager bring on Eddie Nketiah in extra time. I do not want to be in the Bernabeu looking at Norbit coming on in extra time. And Bayern Munich, listen, I know people are looking at Bayern Munich and saying, yeah, they're not top of the German league and they're not as good as they used to be. You're still turning up at the Emirates with a front three of Gnabry, Leroy Sané and Harry Kane. I mean, I would rather not play Bayern Munich as well, if I'm being totally honest. Every team, and there is a narrative that you think you wouldn't want to play them. I mean, PSG are not amazing, but in my opinion, they have the best player in world football. And he can win games by himself. And they've still got Dembele on the other side. And for me, if I'm picking this draw, I want Dortmund. And after that, I want Barcelona. And Barcelona are no chumps. But they're not in the new camp. You know, they're playing in the Olympic Stadium. So the atmosphere is not quite as daunting as being in the new camp. And I think Barcelona can be got at. For me, I would want Dortmund. Everybody says Dortmund is the main team you would want. I would take Barcelona after that. And then, yeah, probably then PSG. That would be the 3 for me. I do not want City, and I don't really want Atletico or Real or Bayern. On the flip side, if you get any of these teams, because there's a good chance, listen, there's a good chance we can get any of them. If you get Atletico, then, listen, you've got to go there and play with discipline. Also, one thing that's very interesting, you want to play away from home first. The dynamics are very different playing away from home first than playing at home. If you're at home first, you've got to try and win quite convincingly and then go away from home with a lead. So, listen, I'm just at a point where I'm just, whoever we get, we get. You know, whoever we get. If we get Real Madrid, right, or we get Bayern or whatever, we've got to embrace the fight and say, 7 years out of the Champions League, a quarter final against Real Madrid, Bayern Munich at the Emirates or PSG or someone like that. You've got to embrace that and say, you know what, if you're going to win this Champions League, which we all want us to do, you're not going to be able to avoid these teams. You're just not. You're not going to be able to avoid them. My thing was always, if you play a Madrid or a City or someone, I would rather play them in a one-off game at Wembley where you might just get the better of them over 90 minutes. I think playing them over 2 legs makes it more difficult. But listen, you know what? I'm moving like DMX. We right here. We're not going anywhere. Just embrace it. What will be, will be. If we get Madrid, if we get Bayern, we get City, if we're good enough, then we will beat them. If we're not, then we will go out and we'll have to see what went wrong and move from there. So, but yeah, give me Dortmund. First leg in Germany, second leg back at the Emirates. I want to see Real Madrid against Man City and get some of these teams out. But it is what it is. The draw's going to be massive. I'm actually excited for it. And in reality, listen, the other way of looking at it is, it would be so Arsenal to get Dortmund. We're all celebrating and then somehow we end up getting knocked out. And then you think, you've been in the Champions League and you haven't played against any of the giants. Do you know what I mean? So on the flip side, if you do get Dortmund, you're under even more pressure because everyone in the fan base expects you to win. And they're no chumps, by the way. So, at the end of the day, seeing Mbappe at the Emirates, seeing Jude Bellingham and Vinicius or, Harry Kane and Sané and them, it is what it is. It is what it is. What I will say, Manchester City won the treble last year. So in theory, Manchester City are the best club team on the planet if you're talking achievement over the last 12 months. Man City are the best team in the world. They won the treble. And we've beaten Man City this season. We've played them twice. We beat them twice. Okay, Community Shield on penalties different. But we beat them at home. So every team there has got a weakness of some sort. It's whether we're good enough to expose it. Because one of the things I just saw that, was tweaking my mind was, I'm looking at why we can beat those teams, but those teams will be looking at us saying they haven't been in the Champions League for 7 years. They've just struggled to beat Porto. So while we're looking and going, we can beat Barca, we can beat PSG, those teams will be looking at us in a similar way. That's what we have to understand. What do you guys think? Who do you want to avoid? Do you mind who we get? This is what I want to know. Are you looking at that draw thinking, please give me Dortmund? Or are you just genuinely thinking, I don't care, just embrace it? I think genuinely we could beat Barca. I really do. I've watched Barca a few times. Listen, they still play tidy football. It's always going to be Barca. But I think you can beat Barcelona. I really do. I think we can beat Dortmund. I think we can beat a lot of those sides, but we will have to go up another level. City is the team I don't want more than anybody in this. Not because I don't think we can beat City. I don't think we would have the psychological capacity to play Man City 3 times in 4 weeks. I think we'd be absolutely drained. And if they knocked us out the Champions League, I feel like we would crumble in the league as well, because we're a very emotional team. We're an emotional fan base. We're an emotional manager. And we got emotional players, And I just think playing City 3 times would be too much. I don't want nothing to do with Man City in that draw tomorrow. Beckley said being home in the second leg is huge with the crowd. Absolutely massive, honestly. I said I don't want Atletico Madrid, but if we get Atletico and the first game's away, I think we can do them. You go there, play disciplined, keep it tight, bring them back. Babatunde said, big up Big C, what is your most dramatic campaign? Champions League final apart from 2006. Mine is Milan. Champions League. Yeah, listen, Milan, Liverpool, that's the greatest comeback I've ever seen in a Champions League final. There's just no doubt. 3-0 down against peak Milan. It's game over. They somehow came back. Thermal said, Barca, PSG, Dortmund. PSG have got that turtle. I mean, listen, like I said, every team there you can look at and find a reason you would and a reason you wouldn't. Some have got more reasons than others. PSG are not that good. They lost to Newcastle, got battered. But they've got that Ninja Turtle. You know, I don't know which one. Whichever one was your favourite. Raphael. Raphael was the one in red, wasn't it? I used to like Raphael and Leonardo, the red and the blue. They've got that Ninja Turtle on the left wing. And them Ninja Turtles, they can fight, man. I used Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a hat shell, turtle power. I can't lie. Ninja Turtles for me, that was a goated cartoon growing up, man. You lot of Donatello, yeah, that was, Donatello was purple, right? Donatello was purple. I like Leonardo and Raphael, I think. Was Michelangelo's the orange one, ain't he? Yeah. Turtles were crazy, man. You know what I mean? We're all little kids deep down, right? Ninja Turtles growing up. I was fighting people back in the day with the nunchucks, plastic ones, of course. But yeah, they got that Ninja Turtle, man, and that Ninja Turtle's serious. He's serious. African Soldier said styles make fights. You're right, and I think Atletico's style would be the most difficult for us to play against. Cole said Madrid struggled against Leipzig, so let's get there. And you're right. Listen. Real Madrid have got heritage beyond belief. And of course, I'm not going to sit here with delusion and say, I hope we get Madrid. No, I don't want nothing to do with Real Madrid. I want Madrid to get Man City and get knocked out. But they struggled against Leipzig. They did. The one thing they're missing is a striker, of course. You know, they haven't got Benzi. They're playing false nine. So, but I would rather not get them. O'Malley said last year, round of 16, had Club Brugge, Frankfurt and Conte Spurs. Inter beat Porto 1-0. Went on to the finals. This year is definitely harder. Madrid barely beat Leipzig. Our win was massive. Listen, Real Madrid have got more heritage than any other club in Champions League history. And they were one goal away from going to extra time against RB Leipzig, who, let's be honest, we don't rate that highly. So people are turning around going, oh, you struggled against Porto. Real Madrid just struggled against Leipzig, and Porto are probably better than Leipzig. So let's not downplay our achievement. We struggled, yes, but we conceded one goal against Porto, and it was a goal that we shouldn't have conceded. We just didn't get going in the attack. Beckley said, away is where I worry. We need to be home. Listen, if Arsenal are away in the second leg, I believe this whole draw gets a lot more difficult. It gets a lot more difficult because then you've got to be on the front foot in the first game. You've got to try and probably win by 2 goals. That asks a lot of us, you know. Guile said anyone but City. And Michael said, I'm up for any team but City. What do you think will be our greater liability, attack or defence? The crazy thing with Arsenal is it's like in Europe, in the groups we were attacking against Porto. We didn't attack well, but I think it's because of how Porto played. We struggled to open them up whilst also being defensively solid. My thing in this draw, anyone but Man City, is what I'm at. I'm not really trying to avoid anyone. There's teams I'd rather not get, but if we get Madrid, if we get Bayern, I'm going to embrace it. From a content creator's point of view, they're monster watch-alongs. There's loads of content. The fans who go to the game, it's unbelievable. The excitement around them games. You're not going to be able to avoid those teams. This quarter-final is crazy. Yeah, even if you get Dortmund, you're going to run into Madrid in the semi-final. You're going to run into Bayern Munich. You're going to run into probably Man City. You're not going to be able to avoid it. I suppose best case scenario, you want Dortmund in the quarter-final and then PSG or Barca in the semi-final. You get into the final and you can just, hopefully in a one-off game, but you can't hide from them. You can't hide. Salman said here in Barcelona, they want to draw with Arsenal. And that's what I'm saying. If you're those other clubs, they're looking at that draw going, give me Dortmund or Arsenal. That's probably what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? Because we have no heritage in Europe. Realistically, we haven't won the Champions League. We haven't been in it for 7 years. So, but hopefully we can surprise people. Hopefully we can surprise people. The draw's going to be huge. O'Malley said cancelling Harold's trophy hunt would be hilarious. Xhaka in the league and Arsenal in the Champions League. 100%. Don said, Curtis, I've booked tomorrow off work to watch the draw. Listen, that draw it feels as big as a game, to be honest. Like, who we get is going to really change the dynamics of our season and who we play first as well. You know, did you see Fab's tweet saying Ben White rejected England? Well, did he? Was he called up and rejected it, or Southgate saying he rang and said I'm not available? Basically, don't pick me. You know, I'm not interested. So fair play to him. He doesn't get on with the manager. And stand by what, you know, stand up for your rights. Dun, dun, dun. Southgate said Ben White didn't want to be selected. It's a great shame. He's a player I like. Bun Southgate. Because when you had the opportunity to pick him, you didn't pick him. So it's easy saying, oh, I would have picked him. No, you weren't going to pick him. So bun him. Sit at home, go Dubai, relax. Dre said I'll be tuning in from the airport flying to New York City. Big up yourself, Dre. Who do we play in the league during the quarterfinals? So I was looking at this. I'm already looking ahead to see who we've got on either side of the Champions League game. So let me give you a bit of insight who we would be playing and where we would be playing. So we play the first Champions League game of this stage will be on the 9th or the 10th. It depends. It will either be on Tuesday the 9th or Wednesday the 10th, depending on who we get drawn. So on the Saturday before, we've got Brighton away. That's a tricky game. So after international duty, we play Man City on the Sunday. Midweek, we play Luton at home. Then on Saturday, we play Brighton away. So after Brighton away, it would be the first leg of the Champions League. It could be anyone. It could be home or away. After that Champions League game, we play Aston Villa at home. Tricky game. Then it's the second leg of the Champions League. Then we've got Wolves away afterwards. So basically, Brighton away, Champions League first round. Villa at home, Champions League second round. And then Wolves away, and then Tottenham away. So it's not easy, people. It's not. We have got to. I agree with you, Jason. We want the away leg first. Whoever we get, you want the away leg. You know, you want to play away from home, try and get a tight result or win, obviously, and then come back and beat them at the Emirates. What will be, will be. What will be, will be. And you're right, Costa. Yeah, the semi-final is drawn tomorrow as well, so you would know who you would get in the quarters and the semi-final, you know, at the same time. But listen, I look at it like this. Atletico Madrid, brilliant defensively, very good heritage, dark arts, very difficult to break down. On the flip side, they're not at the moment one of the top teams in Spanish football. I mean, in the sense that I think Atletico are fourth in the league at the moment. They're not having a great season in the league. You know, there are weaknesses in that team that you can exploit and expose. Their defence is well organised, of course, but I don't believe this is the Atletico that had prime Diego Costa, prime Griezmann, you know, and all of those players. They've got qualities, also got weaknesses. But they have beaten Real Madrid. And hardly any team has beaten Real Madrid. In fact, yeah, I think they're the only team that have beaten Madrid. Barcelona, this ain't the Barcelona of years ago, Ronaldinho or Neymar or Messi. They still have qualities. We played them pre-season. You know, I know it was a pre-season game, but we beat them. They were quite, I don't know, they're good, but they're not as good as they used to be, of course. So if you get Barcelona, you got to go for them. They don't play at the Nou Camp anymore. They don't have a Messi. They've got players like Rafinha and that. They're good, but they're not great. I think we could beat them. Bayern Munich, listen. Bayern are Bayern. Their front three is scary hours. You know, Sané, Gnabry and Harry Kane. But ultimately, they're trailing Leverkusen by 10 points in the German league. They've got a defence that, in my opinion, can be got at. Upamecano's clumsy, you know. They don't have a really set right back. It was Pavard. They're playing the young guy at right back. Listen, they can be got at as well, but obviously a lot of quality there. Dortmund, everyone's saying they want Dortmund, and I want Dortmund as well. Let's be real. They are the weakest team that we could get. We do have to still be respectful of them. But, you know, I'm seeing man like Sule at the back. I'm seeing Emre Can playing at centre-back. You know, I think they can be got at. I think that's the team that everybody would want. Man City, listen, the only good thing about getting Man City is you've got no travelling. You're playing in England. But in reality, I think that's the worst draw we could get, because I just think playing them 3 times in a 4-week period, in fact, it's less than that, it's about 2.5 weeks, I think would be awful. I think it would take too much out of us. Even when you beat Man City, you know, that game is so difficult. You suffer for large periods against City because of how they keep the ball. So I wouldn't want to play them. PSG, as you said earlier, the Ninja Turtle, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. You know, he's a monster. He's the best player in the world, in my opinion. But again, on the plus side, collectively, they're not amazing. Newcastle smashed them in the Champions League. They can be got at. They can definitely be got at. And they're one of them teams that when things go wrong, they seem to collapse. They don't seem to have a great team spirit. And then Real Madrid, I mean, listen, there aren't many negatives you can find with them. They have more heritage than anybody. And they're top of La Liga. I suppose the one positive you could say, they don't have an out-and-out striker. And I don't think their defence is amazing. Even though it does have a good record, you know, I think Carvajal can be got at. Mendy at left-back can be got at. But it's Madrid, it's heritage. It would be difficult. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near Real Madrid, I can't lie. But we'll see. What will be, will be. If we get a big team, embrace it, enjoy it, would be my advice. Because like I said, it would be so typical of Arsenal. We get Dortmund, we're all celebrating, and we lose to them. And then you're at the Champions League, and you haven't even played a top level team. Akeem, big up my bro. Nah, Mbappe can't drag that PSG team. They're dead food. Seen what Newcastle did. I still wouldn't underestimate them. I wouldn't underestimate them. You know, they've been in the Champions League final in the last few years. They smoked Sociedad pretty easily. Maybe they were just shocked by Newcastle. They never, you know, they weren't at it. But they still got through the group. They've still knocked out. And going forward, they would ask a lot more questions of us than what Porto did. You know, Mbappe, Dembele, and Mawani. So at this stage, I don't think any of these teams are dead. I just think some of them have got more things that can be exposed. Mr. said we need City to get Real and Bayern like last season. You can't underestimate Killer. That guy can win a game by himself. Listen, I've seen Arsenal, Alexis Sanchez win games by himself. And Mbappe's even better than him. So, you know, I would not be underestimating them. Let me tell you, PSG in their stadium, that atmosphere is crazy. On a big night, it gets loud in there. Them Parisians, mate, they're crazy. Jude said Arsenal v PSG. Remember, I said it. We'll get the W, says Jude. Whoever we get, let's hope we beat them. Jahai said Newcastle was months ago. We barely got away with Porto. A lot can change. A lot can change. They could turn around and go, yeah, you lost to Fulham in the league. And Fulham are pretty dead, really. Them results happen every now and then. They got a lot of quality, man. A lot of quality. Give me Bayern Munich payback time. City v Atletico. That would be good. Maybe Xabi Alonso can give Arteta some tips to beat Dortmund. Eddie wins it by himself. Listen, he couldn't win a game of Connect 4, bro. Never mind a game of football. Mbappe v Saliba. I mean, the thing is, Mbappe plays left wing. He'd be up against Ben White. And that would be a hell of a test, let me tell you. Dembele against Kivior or Zinchenko. As good as we are, we don't want PSG. Listen, what will be, will be. Let it be, let it be. Whoever we get, people. Anyway, bit of transfer news. Big up everyone locked in. 2,250 of you tuned in. Liverpool barely got out of Forest. It does happen. Forest in a relegation battle. Look, we beat Luton last minute. Do you know what I mean? Just come from the Championship. It can happen. I'm looking forward to the draw. I really am. I'm excited for it. I wish it was today. Let's talk a bit of transfer news, people. Charles Watts has tweeted about Thomas Partey. He says Thomas Partey still has a year left on his deal. And just like last summer, Arsenal would not stand in his way of leaving should a decent offer arrive for the Ghana international. I spoke to somebody on Tuesday at the Emirates who knows Thomas Partey, right? He knows him. And he said to me, we were talking about Partey, and honestly, I'm not ITK, and don't take this as gospel. I was like, look, Partey's probably going to leave in the summer. And he said to me, I don't think Partey's going anywhere. And I said, why not? And he said, I think he's going to see out his contract because this will be probably his last long-term big contract of his career. Why would he want to attach himself to a transfer fee and a big wage on the back of an injury? Thomas Partey's on 200 grand a week. For example, Juventus wanted him last year. With the injuries he's had this season, would they give us a decent transfer fee and pay him 200 grand a week? Probably not. If he's out of contract, he easily gets 200, 250 grand a week. So don't be surprised. Everyone's saying, yo, Partey's going to leave this summer. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays. I wouldn't be surprised. From a business point of view, for him, remember, they say he loves London. People were saying, you know, that the high life in London was one of the reasons for his down form in his injuries and stuff like that. Sorry, because people were saying he was living that high life, driving a Lambo, wearing all the Louis Vuitton, going to the concerts. You know, his concentration levels were maybe not where they were when he was in Spain with Simeone, a lot more discipline. So he loves it in London. He's got married. He's had a baby. He likes the life. He's on big wages. Is he going to be that much of a rush to leave? He's only 30. Well, they say he's 30. I don't know. Everyone assumes Partey will leave, will get him off the wage bill. I think he might sit there for a year. And the thing is, if he's fit next season, he's on so much wages that he's not a player that Arsenal can just throw him on the bench and not use him. The wages are big, so he would still get game time. So don't be surprised if he stays. Yeah, you can't blame him. He likes the high life and his name's Partey. No Partey, no party, people. So, yeah, man, I wouldn't be totally convinced of him leaving, man. I think he might see that contract out. I don't think those teams would give him that. A lot of you saying Saudi, but he was offered Saudi in the summer. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. He's 30. At 30, do you want to go Saudi? He could go Saudi in 2 years. So I wouldn't be so sure that Partey is leaving, and I wouldn't be so sure that he will go to Saudi. I know Juventus wanted him in the summer, but to get him on 200 grand plus, you would have to sell him for very, very cheap. So what would you do? What would you do? He needs minutes. So far off it, he looks unbelievably rusty in the games he's come on. Keith said a fit Partey makes us so much better. Curtis Partey is older than Pepe. Captain Planet. Man said, Dene. Well, I don't think people are spinning around for him now. He owes us a full season. Can you get a full season out of him in the Prem? Listen, the reality is this. Alate, man, I'm not leaving. If you've got Declan Rice, a fit Partey, I think Jorginho will get a 1-year contract extension because the manager loves him and he is having a good run of form and his experience. And then you sign another quality centre midfielder. I mean real quality. That's not a bad four in centre mid. It's all ifs, buts and maybes. If Partey's fit, if Jorginho signs a new contract, if we sign another quality centre mid, I'm assuming El Neni gets released. If you've got a fit Partey, Declan Rice, Jorginho as backup, and you sign another centre mid, that is 4 good players in the middle of the park that you can use for rotation. But it's easier said than done, you know. But interesting. Him staying fit is the problem. The guy never is fit. Frankie de Jong, I like de Jong. I'd take him, but the wages are crazy. I think he's on over 300 grand a week. And Barca aren't going to hand him away. Be expensive as well. Raya's going to be a permanent, and we don't pay that until the summer. So we owe another 27 million. So we're already 27 million pound into the summer transfer budget. So we're probably going to have to sell Ramsdale, Eddie Nketiah, maybe Fabio Vieira, maybe Smith Rowe. Cedric, you release him. El Neni, you release him. And maybe 1 or 2 others. And then the loan players, Nuno Tavares, Sambi Lakonga. What happens with Charlie Patino? There are a number of players. During the international break, I'm going to do a video or maybe a stream where we look through the whole squad and who we should get rid of in the summer and sort of see how our squad looks when we've moved those guys on. Yeah, Musiala could be available. You know, it'd be interesting. Florian Wirtz as well could be available. You know, there's a lot of good players there. Zubimendi, Kimmich being linked with a move. We'll have to see. Anyway, let's move on, people. Osman Diomande. This guy is a beast and a player that I would like Arsenal to get this summer because I do think we need another defender. 20 years of age, beast mode of a player, Ivory Coast international, 6'4", and being linked with a lot of clubs. Now, a few things have happened over the last couple of days. There's a story going around today. Arsenal have been in touch with the family of Sporting Lisbon centre-back Osman Diomande. Sources have told Football Insider Arsenal are keen to bring the player to the Premier League, with a move most likely to materialise in the summer transfer window. Now, apparently Chelsea want him. But of course, Chelsea are not. I doubt they're even going to be in Europe next season. The only problem with this article, what I've read, is they're saying Diomande wants first-team football. Now, they reckon he might cost around 50 to 45 million pounds. How do you guarantee him first-team football when you've got Saliba and Gabriel? Can you sell the project to him and say, listen, Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, we'll rotate, you'll still get a lot of football? Or is he going to look at it and say, you've got Saliba and Gabriel, one's in the French squad, one's in the Brazilian squad, I'm going to be on the bench? Will that put him off joining us and make him, maybe go to Chelsea? I mean, Dre's saying Gabriel might be out of here, but he's been excellent this season. So I wouldn't... I mean, I don't know if Diamande's better than him, but this centre-back pairing works so well, it would be difficult. So can you convince him to come here and battle for his place, where Chelsea maybe would throw him straight in? Thiago Silva's nearly 40. They're not exactly great at centre-back. But I think this guy's great. Also, and I don't buy into these things too much, but apparently, after Arsenal's win against Porto, Diomande liked a post from Saka, a post from Martin Odegaard, and a post from Kai Havertz. All of their sort of post-game pictures that they put out celebrating the win. Diomande liked Saka, Odegaard, and Havertz's picture after the game. Some people said it had nothing to do with him joining Arsenal. He did it because Sporting Lisbon's rivalry with Porto, but he obviously, apparently he liked Arsenal posts as well. So, it's one of them. I don't get too caught up in that. Mudryk was putting up pictures of Arsenal and all kinds of madness, and we still never signed him. So, listen, he's obviously got his eye on Arsenal. And what I will say, them liking posts doesn't mean much to me. Most of the time, they still don't end up at Arsenal. But what I do like is you've now got a situation where players want to join Arsenal. I've got no doubt Osman Diomande would want to join Arsenal. Ivan Toney wants to join Arsenal. Mudryk cried because he didn't join Arsenal. Caicedo wrote an autobiography on Instagram begging to join Arsenal. When Chelsea tried to sign Caicedo in the January window, all we heard was, yeah, Caicedo wants to leave. When Arsenal came in for him, this guy wrote his autobiography. But I have 9 and 10 brothers and sisters. I've come from this, I've come from that. There was all sorts of emotion. That tells me players want to join Arsenal. Not like 2 years ago when, we were getting swerved by Vlahovic, ignoring our calls, 2 ticks on WhatsApp. Blue ticks, no reply. Nobody was typing back to us. Blocking our calls. We had to go unknown number just to try and make contact. The guy was ducking us. Not the same anymore. Now they want to join us. Now they're putting up tweets. Now they're liking the pictures. It shows we're working. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a media ploy as well. As I said, how many content creators are you seeing now doing live streams about Arsenal? Non-Arsenal fans. Why? Because there's no traction like Arsenal traction. Let me tell you. Social media, Arsenal traction is different to any other traction. When we lose, they laugh at us more than anyone else. When we win, they're more angry than anyone else. We're not allowed to celebrate. But also, we are loud, and some of our fan base is a bit crazy. So when we do lose, yeah, man, they come for us. They go crazy. So players are the same. Start liking posts as a player. Arsenal fans will tweet that, make stories about it. You'll get traction, gets people talking about you. If I was Diomande's agent, I'd tell him to go and like Arsenal tweets, Arsenal Instagram posts. Let's get more interest in you. Let's turn it into an auction. Instead of 80 grand a week, you'll get 120 grand a week. Because Chelsea will want you, Arsenal will want you, maybe another club will come in for you. So they're playing the game, but it is good that these players are doing it at the same time. And as I said yesterday, I'm glad that the opposition hate us. Because they hate you when you're good. They hate you when you're a threat. They hate you when you're successful. You don't see unsuccessful people being hated on because what are you hating on? You know, you watched American Gangster. Your success took a shot at you. You can be successful and have enemies. You can be unsuccessful and have friends. You know, Frank Lucas, when he gets shot. If you watch the film, you're right there with me. You know, if you haven't watched the film, you think, what the hell is this guy on about? I've sang S Club 7 today, DMX, and now we're doing American Gangster. I'm glad they hate us. I want them to hate us. They laughed at us when we was 8th. Now they hate us. I want them to keep hating us, but we need to win. We need to win a trophy. Cement it, you know. So Diomande, anyway, he's playing the game to get himself the move, but let's see. I would love us to sign him. Realistically, you get Diomande in, 45, 50 million. You get a top quality centre midfielder. If Partey goes, El Neni goes, you might need 2. But you get, let's say you get Fofana from Monaco, 40 million. That gets you a 90 million. You probably would need a right winger. So let's say you get, I don't know what right winger we'd even get. I like Neto, but the injuries, got to stay away from him. Let's say you get a winger, right winger for 40, 50, 60 million. Elise, Neto, whoever. Gets you to about 150. Then you spend big money on your striker. That gets you to maybe 220, 230, which is about what we spent last summer. That gets you your centre-back, your centre-mid, your right winger, and your striker. I think that is that's when I can say I genuinely believe we can win the league. Right now, I hope we can win the league. I still don't fully believe. I hope. I'm not fully convinced yet. Backup goalkeeper wouldn't cost a lot anyway. You could get a backup goalkeeper for cheap. You get Diomande at centre-back. Then you've got 3 absolute top-quality centre-backs. Saliba, Gabriel, Diomande. You'd have a fit Timber to probably play left-back. Kivior can play there. Tomiyasu can play there. I'd probably sell Zinchenko. Right back, you got Ben White, Tomiyasu. Ben White can also play centre-back. You go into midfield. Partey might stay. If you get Partey fit, you got Partey, Jorginho, Rice, and you buy a new centre-mid. Up front, you got Jesus as cover, and you sign a new striker, whether that's Gyökeres, whether that's Tony, whether that's Osimhen, whoever. You get a new right winger to challenge Saka. So there's your 2 right wingers, and left wing you got Trossard, Martinelli. Then I would be like, yeah, man, this squad is ready to go. You know what I mean? And that is not an unrealistic transfer window. I'm not asking for Kylian Mbappe. Even though I want Kylian Mbappe, you know, that is an achievable window. Diomande at centre-back, a quality centre-mid, a solid, good right winger, and a top-quality striker. And you get rid of the fringe players that aren't doing anything, you know? Get rid of them. But we'll see. I'll definitely do a show about it as well. We're linked with the Las Palmas goalkeeper. I don't even know who the Las Palmas goalkeeper is. Let's have a look. Who's the Las Palmas goalkeeper? I couldn't tell you. And Escandel, is it? It would be a scandal. His name's Escandel. It would be a scandal if we sign him. Sorry, it's a dad joke, people. It's a bit of a shocker. I did see a story regarding that as well, but I didn't actually get it up. Las Palmas, Arsenal. I know we're being linked with that guy from America. Oh, no, Alvaro Valles. That Escandal is the second choice one. Yeah, let me get that up. Valles. I did see that. I forgot to get that story there. Breaking from Relevo. Arsenal are following the situation of Las Palmas goalkeeper Alvaro Valles. The 26-year-old will have 1 year on his contract. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we go for someone like that, you're not paying a lot of money for him, are you? You probably get him for 10 million. 10, 12 million. It's not going to affect our transfer budget that much. You know, if you get rid of... he's 6'5", so he's a lot bigger than David Raya. We'd have 2 Spanish keepers. He hasn't played for Spain. Played 34 games last season in their promotion season. They're now in La Liga. 28 games. I mean, he's 26 years of age. Couldn't tell you a lot about him. Some of you may watch La Liga and know more than me about him. 26. Says here they want 15 million euros for him, which is just under 13 million pounds. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. He's massive. That's all I do know. Las Palmas are 9th as well, which ain't bad. They only got promoted last season. And they're above teams like Seville, Celta Vigo. They're doing all right. They're only actually 6 points off a European place. So give them Eddie. Good haircut. Yeah, listen. Great goalie, better than Alisson. Yeah, if only. Arteta loves a Spanish goalkeeper. Listen, if he's good, I don't mind. It'll cost around 13 million. He's tall. Let's see. I hope he's not the Spanish Renarson, as you said. Anyway, people, thank you very much for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. Apologies for them problems with the mic at the start. It was a YouTube issue, but we did get it sorted. Tomorrow is massive, people. Tomorrow is massive. I'll be live 10:30 a.m. The draw's at 11. We'll do a bit of pre-match, build it up a little bit. The Champions League draw for the quarter-final and also the semi-final draw is at the same time. So we'll see who we would get if we won in the quarter-final. Make sure you tune in for that. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Looking forward to that draw tomorrow, people. Take care, everyone. Bless.